Flu season is coming. Will your immune system be ready? That is the question. And we're going to be talking about that and a lot more right after this. Welcome, everybody. This is the Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. I'm your host, Scott Patton. Joining us, as usual, is our co-host, health engineer, Martin Patella. Hey, Martin, how you doing today?
It's a good day, Scott. It's a good day.
So you don't have flu, you don't have a cold, your throat's all right, healthy as a horse.
If horse is a example of healthiness, yes.
Awesome.
You could call me healthy as a hedgehog. We wouldn't know.
So it's September. It's the end of September. Everyone's going back to school. The weather is changing. And this is when all of a sudden we have flu season.
Yeah. The indoor life. That's what it is. We are compressed from being out there in the outdoors, camping, whatever. All of a sudden, we just bring all of people into boxes, into rooms. And we do that to children. And we talked about the theory of exosome versus virus, right?
Yeah.
There's the germ theory, and then there's the terrain theory. And in the germ
let's talk
theory,
a bit about that.
Yeah, in germ theory, you say there are germs out there. They exist of their own will, and they come in and they attack you. They'll make you sick. And the terrain theory says there's stuff everywhere. And if your terrain is weak, you will allow it to take you down. If your terrain is strong, you'll be fine. And to that,
if I can jump in for just a second, because one of the things that I often think about is the difference 100 years ago to now, where there were no sewer systems, there was no refrigeration, there was a lot more maybe like coal being burned, wood being burned to keep you warm, that sort of thing. So, and of course, so people say, oh, you got sick because of all the germs in the sewer. Well, maybe that's one way of looking at it, or maybe that sewage and toxic stuff around you cause your terrain to drop.
Well, so you were malnourished because you were eating crappy stuff and you were poor. And then on top of it, you were drinking water that was contaminated with feces of not just humans, but also farm animals and yard animals and everything else. So you're eating crappy food, you're being poisoned, and you're living in high smoke environment. Yeah, sure. That was the thing. But the point I'm trying to say here, so this flu thing shows up. How come only 12 out of the 35 children in the class got sick?
Right.
Why did the other 23 stay healthy? What's the deal? Explain.
Yeah, you would think if it was a germ that went from person to person to person, and it goes to everybody in the room, then why don't we all have the same result?
Which it does, and it's the weak ones that fall in.
Right.
And it's the toxicity, malnutrition, stagnation, and trauma, as we classify it, that conspires to take you down several notches and make you vulnerable to whatever happens. And the whatever happens is you have been now put into a box with a whole bunch of other people who bring you gifts. The gifts of their exosome.
Their exosomes, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So what can we do to strengthen our immune system? So I guess let's take a step back for a second. unlike when you've got, say, flies and mosquitoes around, spraying the air isn't going to do any good,
Right.
right?
No.
And if you had fresh air from outside coming in, that might help, but the chances are you'd be freezing. So, okay, so let's talk about the air, for example, right? So it's cold, you need to turn on the central heater, the
Yep.
furnace,
Uh-huh.
and so that's the air is going to go in. They probably never change the filters or once a year. So the filters get plugged and you're getting, and now what's in the vents?
There we go. So it's house dust, pet dander, mold. Yeah.
I
Fungus.
had a friend who was very sick, sick often. And he wasn't necessarily deathly sick, but he was sick a lot. And so we were chatting one day and he says, yeah, he says, I had enough of my water bed. And I decided I was going to, get a new bed and not have a water bed. And he said, I could not believe when I emptied the water and I took it all apart, it was black mold all inside it.
Yep.
So no wonder he was getting sick.
Yep. There goes. I remember I lived in a place. Anyway, the house was not well insulated, and we had the bed pushed against the wall. And one day in the middle of the winter, I pulled the bed away from the wall. And what do I see? Black mold growing in the space between the bed and the wall because there was not enough circulation and moisture and cold and blah, blah, blah. The works, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think mold is a bigger problem than we realize. I didn't even talk about it.
Horrendously bad issue. And now we're talking schools, and if the mold is in the ventilation,
You're not getting it out.
No, it's in the whatever it's called, HVAC, the tubes that move the air. If it's in there, it's moving it around the entire building.
Yeah, being spread.
Okay. Yeah.
So so generally speaking, the society that we live in thinks it's all these kids that have had all these germs from everything they've been doing all summer, getting into a room and spreading the germs around. And we're kind of saying, well, it's probably the environment is not very healthy and they're not eating very well. And they're probably drinking some sort of liquid that is not excellent for them. And that reminded me, as you know, I managed grocery stores for 20 years. And the Sunripe juice guy came into the store one day and so we walked to the juice section and he's pointing at a generic, it's a little plastic thing. And there's like 6 or 8 or 12 in it.
Tetra Pak in single serve.
No, plastics. It was plastic. It wasn't Tetra Pak.
Okay.
And he says, you see this? And I go, yeah. He says, we make it. We think it's awful. We had a taste test in our office. Everyone agreed this is like the worst tasting stuff ever, but it sells like crazy. And he says, the only thing we can think of is that moms buy it. They don't drink it. They put it in the kid's lunch bag and the kid either drinks it because he's used to it or he trades it for a peanut butter sandwich. But the point being is that we feed our kids stuff that's junk.
Yeah.
Why can't we just give them, a jug of water?
Okay. Well, I'll match you your crappy juice and I'll raise you chlorinated water from the water fountain.
There you go. Yeah.
Kill your microbiome just by sucking on that beautiful, healthy, chlorinated water.
Yeah. So in other words, there's lots of ways that we can destroy our terrain.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then, so that's the inputs. We have control over the inputs, right? The air and the drink, for sure. But then the third thing is hygiene, behaviors. Okay. So when I stick my finger in my nose,
Martin,
I fish out whatever's in there, and then I rub it over here, and then I touch my pen, and then my friend comes in and uses that pen, it just travels around, right?
Right.
And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the washroom, and I'm going to end up with some E. coli on my hand because I ripped the toilet paper as I wiped, and I did not wash my hand at all or somewhat. And then I bring it into the classroom and I clean it on my book and my desk space, whatever, right?
Well, don't forget, to get into the room, you had to grab the handle and turn the handle. So you have
Everybody
30
gets to
kids that
touch
don't
it.
know how to wipe their bum properly, turning the handle, going
Yeah,
in and out 30 times a day.
yeah, everybody
And of
gets to
course,
touch
then
it.
they take it and they stick it up there too, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. So that's the transmission route. And if that's not fast enough, then you can put it in the
I'm
eye,
with
which is,
George. No.
yeah, no. And then you
No.
put it in the eye, which is even more whatever. You know what pink eye is,
But
right?
isn't that germs? Aren't those germs that are being bacteria and stuff that are
Okay.
being
Well,
spread?
okay, let me ask it one more time. You know what pink eye is caused by, right?
No.
E. coli in the eye.
Okay.
Where's E. coli? In the poop. Okay. Need I say more?
No.
Okay. Poop in the eye. Red eye.
So you can get infections from the bacteria.
Oh, so you asked me why is it? Well, yeah, bacteria is bacteria.
Right.
It does not belong here. It belongs in the back end.
Right. So if you get it here or somewhere else, you're going to have infections, and that's
Mm,
going to make you sick.
right. E. coli in your poop is okay. E. coli in your salad is not, because it's not supposed to be in your upper digestive. It's supposed to be at the tail end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Brr. Okay, so that's the behaviors, right? Can we teach the children to behave better? And can we teach the adults to behave better because they don't?
Right. I tell you, going into airports and then going into the airport washrooms, 1/4 of the people don't wash their hands when they leave. And I just
Right.
want to grab them by the scruff of the neck and say, listen, man, what's on your hands?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Not
Well,
okay.
urine is sterile, so let's be okay with that.
All right. Just
Okay, so we are talking
back,
about immunity. What can I do to improve on my immunity? So I
right.
would like to go with antioxidants, all of which is richly present in fresh, raw, uncooked fruits and vegetables. And those we still have in the fall. And then perhaps we could go for some herbs, some herbal
Right.
stimulation that will help the immune system to function a bit better.
Okay, before we get into the cure, I'm sorry. I meant to bring this up and forgot all about it because I was thinking about being in a washroom with guys that don't wash their hands.
Mm.
Some of the things that will weaken our immune system, like sugar, stress, poor sleep, we should talk a little bit about that, right? Because
Yeah.
we've got the environment, the cleanliness, the mold, all that stuff going on.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting enough sleep, you've got a problem. If you love ice cream cones and cookies, you have a problem. And if you're in a high stress job, which I would suggest that a majority of the people are, and even if you're not, you probably are living beyond your means and if you're not, then your government is living beyond its means, which means now you've got the stress of getting to and from work on crowded streets and the stress of how am I going to pay my bills.
Yeah. Show the last thing that George put up.
Oh yeah, George, thank you for contributing. Oops, how come that
That's
didn't?
that thing is go figure, right?
So George says, due to unhealthy neighbors, I had typhoid fever twice.
Yeah. Oh, right. So that's a microbial disease. Okay, that's bacterial. And you get it because people just bring it to you. It's
Right.
shared.
It's shared. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, that's one. Okay, so
we kind of covered the things you're not doing that you
what the
should be
things
doing,
not to do, right?
right?
It's
So let's talk about the things
five.
you should do.
It's the 5 most famous things that you should never put in your mouth, which is refined flour, especially if it says enriched or if it says fortified.
Fortified. Yeah.
Those are guaranteed words that you should not ingest. But anyway, refined flour, refined sugar. Refined sugar robs you of calcium from your bones. Go figure. But why don't we just use raw sugar? We could. Right. Raw sugar is brown and molasses kind of thing, right? The third one is refined salt. The fourth one is refined plant seed oil.
Yeah.
That's the
canola oil, vegetable oil.
Yeah.
Safflower.
Mazola from corn,
that. Basically, go into the oil aisle and everything you see except for one little 3-foot section on one shelf is all the oils that you should not be using.
Yep. So fruit oil, good. Seed oil, not so good. So the fruit, that would be coconut, palm, avocado, olive.
Yeah. I love coconut oil.
Yeah.
I fry my eggs in it all the time.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Okay,
so that was the oils and the last one.
Do we need to put George's? He's talking about his neighbors still. They
I think he misspelled it. I think what he means that they crap all over the whole yard.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh. Wow.
We cause so many of our own problems. And getting into these white things, white rice has no nutrients.
That's pure
and is pure glucose.
Yeah, here's how this works. You take starch. Starch are 3 strings of glucose connected together chemically. And when you put it in your mouth, the amylase, the enzyme that takes it apart into pure glucose. The glycemic index of white rice and white potato and refined flour is actually higher than 100. It's just,
it's off the chart.
Yeah. Well, it's just pure glucose, of which there is 0 RDA, meaning it's been established that you don't need any of it ever. It's not a need. I enjoy it because there's something about that. When it hits your brain, it kind of is intoxicating. It's kind of pleasure giving. It's the closest thing that resembles alcohol, right?
Right. And maybe that's it. Yeah. Potato moonshine.
Well, I mean, rice makes rice wine. Wheat makes whatever it's called, whiskey. Rye makes rye whiskey. I don't know what's made out of corn for alcoholic drink. But we make HFCS.
Moonshine.
Yeah.
I think that's made out of corn.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right. Okay, so we know what not to do. We know why we shouldn't do it. And we need to make some new habits so that we don't do it. And we're getting into like what sort of things can we do to
okay. So if you're getting a flu, 3 things. 1, it usually is an acidic event, pH imbalance. So what you need to do is you need to alkalize your body. And to do that, you need to put yourself in an alkaline bath. So a whole pound of baking soda, and you can augment it further with magnesium, like Dead Sea salt or magnesium chloride or magnesium sulfate. That's Epsom salt. Those things. That'll make you better. You want to sweat because you want to get your pores open. Guess what? If you do sauna, as they call it here, you will sweat out the toxins and the excess acidity.
Right. Sauna is great. I love saunas.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, and any other sweat activities. The North American natives did sweat lodges,
Yep,
and the Indian folks did hot yoga.
that's right. And then Norwegians and Swedes jumped in frozen lakes.
After they've been to a very, very hot room for a while.
That's
What
true.
you're doing is you're opening the pores and sweating it out, and then you jump in the lake to close them tight so that all the toxic stuff stays out rather than reabsorbs back in.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, clever people. They live long too.
They do. I do. Well, that's the thing, right? You take care of your body and you'll live a long time. It's like if you take care of your car,
Yeah,
change the oil when you should, and all the, make sure the tires are working properly
yeah, all that.
and all that. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we have at Life Enthusiast on our website that might be helpful. And I would like to
Right.
start off with Immunagen.
Okay, so that's a herbal product. Really cool story. I remember this gal or woman, I don't know, I should probably not be so condescending, uh, who told me every fall she starts getting respiratory, flu, immune, whatever, and that's that. She got this. She flew on a 12-hour flight in an airplane full of people who were hacking, coughing. She said it was a zero chance she would not be deathly sick on the destination if it
Right.
were not for Immunogen, which she took before and during and after the flight, and nothing, zero. She said she was immensely grateful because this thing just kept her going.
Awesome.
And one other story was this teacher who has a bottle of this Immunogen in her desk, and she uses that all the time because the snotty children do come and slobber all over her stuff, and she is staying well with Immunogen on board. It's a herbal thing. Just you can look at the herbs, Scott. Look at the ingredients. It's super cool. Mushrooms,
Red
coriander,
reishi
reishi,
mushrooms, rhodiola. We talked
rhodiola.
about that last
That's a
week.
stress reducer. Black
Black
walnut. That's immune support. Burdock, immune support. Cat's claw,
claw,
anti-inflammatory.
conjurango,
Conjurango, anti-inflammatory. Oregon grape.
Oregon grape,
That's a detox and
streg.
glucose regulation.
Okay, astragalus.
Yeah, anti-aging.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Blue flag root. We talked about that last week too.
yeah, yeah. And,
Icelandic moss.
and Podiarco. Podiarco by itself is known as the gargle with it, take it, it will do with every possible thing.
Oh, cool. White pond lily.
Yeah, that's a detoxer.
Prickly ash bark.
Yeah, I'm not remembering that, but it must be something to do with the immune system again.
And
So there you have it, right? Lobelia to push. That's my story. It's a well-rounded, all-in-one. Just use this. It's just so easy, and you don't need it all the time.
Yeah. George says it works for me. Thank you, George.
Yeah.
All right. The next one we want to take a look at is Holo Immune.
Oh yeah, same idea. In capsules for people who cannot handle an alcohol tincture put in the mouth because it's a bit astringent. There's definitely a zing to it. This one is extracted, put in a capsule, and it's costs you more, but it does something very similar. Supports your immunity. And if you again look at what's in it, it's the beta glucans, right?
Yeah.
And a bit of bacterial support.
Right. Which follows with what we were talking about in terms of the healthy terrain. You want to have those probiotics in there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, reset the inner terrain. It's It's interesting. 80% of your immune system is existing at the interface between your gut and the blood system. Yeah, this is the
Oh,
ultimate iridescent. Here
yeah.
we are going to, one of the 4 lines that you see there is fortify immune system. It does that. Immunity, energy, and clear thinking.
And if you want to take a look at the ingredients, you can see
Yeah,
that
that'll
there
give
is
you a
a
headache.
lot.
That'll give you a headache. Exola is made with 350 ingredients. And the trickery here is this. You can make music with a string quartet, and you can make music with a symphonic orchestra, and you can make music with symphonic orchestra with a choir added to it. If you want to stage Beethoven's Ninth, the Ode to Joy, you need all of that. Think of iridescent when you want a big piece of everything on. Like, there goes. Big show.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorites. I have
Yep.
a bottle or 2 of that every year.
Yep.
George says, good analogy.
Yeah.
I have a bottle or 2 of it every year if the customs people will let it through. Right now, I'm fighting with the customs in South Africa for
Are you really?
still, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And of course, nobody is really very clear about instructions, and they expect me to do things like read and listen, which is totally unrealistic. So, but we have all the documentation as of yesterday in front of them, and hopefully they will say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
George,
My
you have
God.
my sympathy. Thank you, George.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like trying to ship something to George into the Philippines. That's another hard place to reach.
Yeah. Actually, and an easy place to get is Colombia. And the way you do that is you ship to Miami, and then there's a forwarding company there that will ship to.
Right, but it's the local environment, right? Like if the
Yeah.
local environment supports commerce, if the economy is used to importing things and not policing their citizens, then things are fine. You try to send stuff to Germany, and
George is now in Virginia Beach.
okay, now
That's no problem then.
It's much nicer. Okay. Anyway, I
right.
was just trying to whine about Germany.
Yeah.
Festung Deutschland, as in Fortress Germany, they will allow nothing.
No.
They return everything because their citizens are not allowed to access anything that's natural or complex.
That's so sad.
Oh, it's frustrating.
Okay, so we've had a couple of people send in some questions.
All right.
And one is about the Immunagen.
Yeah.
Will it interact with any meds that I'm taking?
Well, yes, in a good way. You won't need the damn meds. I don't know. What are you taking? If you're taking high blood pressure meds and blood thinner meds and all of that, yeah, there's always some interaction with alkaloids. Should not be so bad that you'd have to worry about it. But
so start small and see how it goes. Monitor it, right?
Yeah.
So with something like the Immunagen, and even with the second one that we talked about, Hollow Immune.
Yeah.
So you wake up in the morning, you got an itchy, scratchy throat, you're feeling like not quite right. Do you take double the normal amount that you would take, or do you just take the what it says, 1 serving of 2 capsules or whatever the instructions are?
I take the regular dose. You know what I use for scratchy throat is I use a spray of Amazing O. That thing is like high ORP, which raises the ORP past the resistance level of all microbials, viral, bacterial, fungal, all of them. And so I always have that sitting around. I probably have a bottle of it somewhere here. Ah, nope, can't reach it right now. It's in the bathroom 6 steps away. And anyway,
Right.
it's a spray bottle. I have a spare. I have a lot of empty Nanosoma bottles because I've been using Nanosoma for years. And those are just perfect. 1 ounce spray bottle, 12 drops of Amazing O. The rest is water. And I just spray it in my throat. Like that,
Right.
inhale. Works phenomenally well.
And can you spray it up your nose and on your eyes?
Inadvisable. It's a little too harsh.
Okay.
Too much concentration. It won't hurt you. I had somebody mistakenly put fully concentrated Amazing O in their eye.
Ooh.
It allegedly hurt a lot, but left no lasting damage. They just rinsed it out.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So
Just seeing
that's
if I can find it.
which amazing thing.
Amazing. Oh yeah. Just doing a search on the site for it. I'll bring it up
Oh,
if we.
type the word amazing.
That's what I'm doing.
All right, no worries. It's a simple thing.
Yeah, because talk a little bit about the importance of getting enough oxygen.
Yeah. So mitochondria in your cells is where food is converted into energy. And to do anything, you need energy, whether it's to move or to think or to digest or to repair or to defend from illness. All of that requires energy. So if you think about it like as if it were a combustion engine where you bring fuel and you bring oxygen, without oxygen, there's never a fire and there's never a combustion, and doesn't matter. No oxygen, no function. So
Right.
likewise, in a human body, you have the two. You have to have fuel and you have to have oxygen. So bring more oxygen and boom,
Away you
energy
go.
abundance happens.
Okay.
I was trying to explain what an amazing soak feels like. And I said to somebody, so imagine you just ran a 20K race, half marathon, and you're just beat up, tired, completely destroyed. You take one bath with 2 ounces of this amazing soak. It goes into your body, pushes oxygen, repairs whatever needs to be repaired, and the next morning you're getting up as if nothing happened.
That's pretty incredible.
Right. And so then I said, well, look, a person who has fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue, they are like that when they get up. When they get up, they feel like the guy who just finished running a half marathon.
Right.
So you take a bath with this, and your energy restores. And I'm just having the hardest time convincing people that they should just bloody do this.
Yeah. I don't know why that is. Like you would
It's
think
unusual.
if you're in pain, do something, you've tried all these drugs that
Yeah.
didn't work and made things
Yep.
worse.
Yep.
And why don't you now try something that, well, I guess the answer is, insurance or somebody or the government paid for the drugs, right?
Yeah. This is not free. Yeah. Well, you can try it for $20, or we sell it in quantity for people who want to buy bigger bottles.
Right. Well, try it and then get the bigger bottles and save a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Right. So we've put links to all of these products in the comments. So you should be able to see them in the comments, and they'll be in the description. Martin, the flu season is coming. What would you tell moms?
Wash
Johnny's going to
hands,
school.
teach hygiene, push vitamin C, push. Oh, definitely get Amazing O, and make yourself a sprayer, and you spray it on surfaces. You can spray it on the crap that your child just brought home. It'll sterilize the surface. It'll kill off any microbes that are on it.
Right.
So, you know, that door handle that's got poop on it, spray it on that.
Yeah. And I would say too, moms, you have to take a bit of an educational look at this sort of thing and say, listen, I told you to wash your hands. I told you to do this. I told you to do that. Now you're sick. And you're sick because of this. Because everyone just, oh, I'm sick. You know, it's like a magic thing. Like, I didn't do anything. Well, either you didn't do anything that you should have, or you did a whole bunch of things you shouldn't have.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nobody
The other one would be those 5 things: refined flour, refined sugar, refined salt, refined plant seed oils. Those have to be not bought. They should not be in the lunch kits of these munchkins that you're in charge of.
All right.
And they should not be yours either, Mom.
So let's give George the last words today. Here's an old saying: 5% of the people think, 5% of people think that they think, 90% of the other people would rather die than think. Okay,
well, Scott, I find George to be one of the first group, 5%. He seems to be always on the dot and always understanding the cause and consequence.
Yeah. And that would be such a wonderful thing if people could understand the cause and the consequence of their actions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the consequences can show up in, years from now, decades from now, and you don't think about it when you're 20, but when you're 80, it's like, oh my goodness, I wish I hadn't have done all these things. Yeah. And George says, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, George. Appreciate you a lot and having you here with us. And thank you, everybody else that's joined us. Martin, for taking time out of your busy day. You've been watching and listening to the Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. And we'll see you next week, everybody. Bye for now.
Hey! Hey!